So hello once again from the International Transpersonal Conference in Prague. I'm privileged to have Magdalena Smieszek with me. And Magdalena, your background is in?
It's in human rights, actually.
Human rights?
Yes.
And transpersonal has something to do with that, am I correct?
It does. Well, I can talk about it a little bit from a personal experience and then also how it applies to my work and kind of like the bigger vision, the transpersonal impact on the world through transpersonal psychology.
That would be most interesting. And if you could extend it from that introduction into the value of a transpersonal perspective in the context of coaching and therapy, that would be of specific interest to the viewers of this video.
Right.
Thank you.
So then I'll speak from a personal experience. I had let's say a spiritual awakening that was very profound to me, a psycho-spiritual awakening. And I didn't know much about the different transpersonal psychology mechanisms. And when I found these tools, it really made a huge impact. So I was able to benefit from it and have a more personal, deeper perspective of all the transpersonal expanded consciousness that's happening, and also in terms of how it, and maybe that's the human rights perspective, how it impacts the world. I think it's a process. Transpersonal psychology adds tools for a process for deeper understanding of ourselves and others, and that obviously affects kind of even bigger global issues. So we start with ourselves and expand it beyond ourselves.
That sounds very useful in terms of my interests. So when we start with ourselves and extend it to others, how could that extension be made useful to professionals in coaching and therapy, perhaps?
Yeah, I think from, I'm the recipient of coaching and therapy, but of course I participate in the different methods. And I think it's just a general kind of an understanding of the consciousness mechanisms that go beyond just what you and I have in front of us, and more than just language, more than just the sensory experience that we have. It's kind of like a deeper interconnection. So whether you're a coach or you're the benefit of coaching and therapy, you're able to develop methods of kind of like a more deeper connection and an understanding that's almost, we're sometimes lacking the language for things that's indiscernible in a way, but that you feel that connection to each other. Yeah.
That sounds useful in terms of, in coaching and therapy, as I understand it, a lot happens in the spaces between that which is said. And if those working from a transpersonal perspective are able to bring about something constructive for the client in those moments of silence and so on, I can imagine there's tremendous value in that. Absolutely.
I think it's just the general approach in transpersonal psychology is really following the consciousness that arises in that moment, in that interaction. So it's not always something that needs to be said. It's not something that you get from a book that you need to follow. It's something that comes out naturally between you and the people that you're working with. So whether it's a silence or it's a touch or it's a specific type of method of going into a meditative state, a contemplative state, all of those things I think arise on their own and they blend into each other. So there is that kind of a relationship between the therapist, the coach, and the person that's receiving the therapy that's very natural.
I think I hear you. That sounds of definite importance to the coaching or therapeutic relationship, and without that relationship, what is there? One person speaking to another. This sounds like a relationship that can be of tremendous value to individuals that undergo this particular type of coaching and therapy.
Right.
So thank you so much for your input. I'm going to leave it at that. I know you have so much more to share, but I would like to keep these little videos as short as possible.
Great.
So thank you so much.
Thanks so much.